Assalamu alaikum class. Today we will discuss about influenza virus. Influenza is an acute respiratory tract infection caused by influenza virus. It is a viral infection that affects mainly the nose, throat, bronchi and lungs. There are some important properties that are associated with influenza virus. Influenza virus is composed of segmented single-stranded RNA genome. It has three viral subtypes that are named as type A, type B and type C. Influenza virus type A and type B are responsible for epidemics of disease throughout the world. Means these two types of influenza virus are pathogenic. Both influenza A and B have two distinct surface antigens, heme agglutinin that is called as H antigen and neuraminidase that is called as N antigen. As you all know, what is the purpose of surface antigen? These are the virulent factor of these viruses. Okay, I have already told you in many lectures that surface antigen act as pathogenic. The pathogenic effect of the virus or bacteria is because of their surface antigen. So, how it is transmitted? Influenza virus is transmitted easily from person to person via droplets and small particles produced when infected people cough and sneeze. So, the spread of influenza virus is through the droplet formation, or when person is coughing and sneezing, he is spreading the infection by his droplets. Now, let's talk about its pathogenesis. Pathogenesis of influenza virus. After the virus has been inhaled, the neuraminidase that was the antigen. The neuraminidase degrade the protective mucus layer of the respiratory tract. So, this is the pathogenicity. Now the pathogenicity start after the inhalation of the virus. The neuraminidase degrade the protective mucus layer. Virus gain its access to the upper and lower respiratory tract because of degradation of its protective mucus layer. Now, the systemic symptoms are because of the cytokines circulating in the blood. Then necrosis of superficial layer of respiratory tract occur. Necrosis means there will be the desquamation of the upper layer of the respiratory tract occur. Okay, this is the pathogenesis. I will elaborate it again in this diagram, in this flow chart. As you can see, influenza virus attachment to the cell membrane. After the attachment, it starts replication and produce cytokines and cytotoxic factors. Then there will be airway inflammation or alveolitis. After airway inflammation, there will be the damage of airway epithelial cells and endothelial cells, and it can also cause airway hyperactivity and narrowing, exacerbation of bronchial asthma and COPD. If there will be the damage of alveolar epithelial cells and endothelial cells, pneumonia will occur. Okay, so this is the main pathogenesis of human influenza virus. Influenza virus, what are the clinical findings? As you know, what is the incubation period? I have told you this many times that incubation period is when the patient got infected and the period between the infection and the start of symptoms is incubation period. So, after the incubation period, that is incubation period is of 24 to 48 hours. Then the clinical symptoms will start to appear. The clinical symptoms are fever, headache, myalgia means muscle pain or body pain, sore throat, cough, vomiting and diarrhea are rare features. Okay. you can clearly appreciate in this picture all the symptoms are shown that are caused by influenza virus. In nasopharynx, what will be the symptoms there? There will be runny or stuffy nose, or it could be sore throat, and there will be the echis, means there will be pain. What would be the respiratory symptoms? Coughing. Gastric symptoms will be vomiting. Central nervous system will be headache. Those symptoms will be headache, and systemic symptoms are fever in this case. There will be extreme tiredness, means patient will feel myalgia. Muscular symptoms will appear. Patient will also feel joints pain. Okay, these are the symptoms of influenza. Influenza virus cause some complications in children. There is a study shows that there is a link between the development of Ray's syndrome and use of aspirin for relieving fever caused by influenza virus. So, in case if there will be a Ray's syndrome, then what will happen? It involves the CNS and the liver, and children will exhibit symptoms, or children will show the symptoms of drowsiness, persistent vomiting, and change in personality. So these are the complications in children. Now let's move on towards the last slide, that is the lab diagnosis. In lab diagnosis, first of all we will do the specimen collection. Specimen collection will be done. We can take the specimen from nose, throat, or sputum. After that, enzyme linked immunosorbent assay, ELISA. ELISA is a very important test in influenza virus diagnosis, because it detects the viral antigen in respiratory secretion. We can also do direct fluorescent antibody test or PCR, polymerase chain reaction, and we can also do the detection of antibodies in patient serum. So, cell culture will show the presence of virus within the human body. Heme adsorption to infected cells will show the presence of heme adsorption protein on cell surface. Heme agglutination will show the presence of virus in secretion. Heme agglutination inhibition, type and strain of influenza virus, or specificity of antibody. Antibody inhibition of heme adsorption. We can also do immunofluorescence, ELISA, influenza virus antigen in respiratory secretion or tissue culture it will show, and we will do the serology test. So these all are the tests that we use to detect the influenza virus infection. I hope you find this lecture very informative, and I want all the class to go through the lecture and kindly make your concepts right now. Okay, Allah Hafiz.